Hi everyone, good morning. Can you see my screen everyone? Can you hear me? Am I audible? Can you confirm anyone? Online guys?
Yes.
Fine. So in the last session what we discussed anyone? The last session what we discussed? Servers, servers right? Servers, what is, yeah, different stages, right? Initial stage of implementation, second phase of implementation, yeah, third phase and fourth phase, right? And also what is operating system, types of operating systems, and yeah, these are all we discussed, right? So today we are going to discuss about networking. So this is our sixth session, right? Sixth session, right? Yeah. So first session is DevOps introduction. Second session is cloud introduction. Third session is question and answers. Fourth one is SDLC. Fifth session is servers, right? Servers architecture. And sixth session is networking, right? So tomorrow we are going to start AWS. So before going to AWS, first we need to understand these basics, right? So without basics, we cannot understand the AWS terminology, right? So that is why before going to AWS services, we need to understand the terminology, which is very, very important, right? Servers, networks, terminology is very important. So currently we are not using physical servers, right? So this physical servers will be maintained by AWS vendor. As a cloud engineer, as a DevOps engineer, we are connecting these servers through internet. Virtually we can access, right? Virtually we can create. Fine. Yeah. Let's get started. Yeah. So networking. What is networking? Right. So networking is a right. See here. This is the definition. A computer network is a system in which a door closes. Just yeah. Fine. A computer network is a system in which multiple computers are connected to each other to share information and resources, right? Yeah. So different computers can connect through some network, either LAN or WAN or Wi-Fi. So why we require that? To share the information, to share the resources, right? See here. This is the LAN, local area network, LAN connectivity. So these are the desktops we connected through cable, right? To share the resources, to share the databases, right? Yeah. Next one, what are the characteristics of computer network? Share resources from one computer to another, create files and store them in one computer, access those files from other computers called other computers connected over the network. So normally in real-time projects, okay. So all the data will be stored in the server. The server we can host in the data center. So that server we can connect through network, either local area network or Wi-Fi or wide area network, any network. Yeah. So connect a printer, scanner, or fax machine to one computer within the network and let other computers of the network use the machines available over the network. So normally, if you take hospitals or schools, right? Yeah. So, for example, hospital. So from OP, if you tell your number, they track your details. In other place, medical store, if you tell your number or your name, they track your information, right? And also, yeah, other words, they track your information, right? So because the data will be stored in the server, they access through network. They use the laptop or desktop. They just check your information. They get the information from server, right? So yeah, for example, school. If you take school, in the school, five floors are there. Five floors are there. So each floor, different classrooms are there. different yeah uh, different cabins are there, for example. So instead of configuring printers in each floor, we can configure one printer in the second floor or third floor. That printer we can configure as a network printer. Network printer. So when we give the request, when we print the document, the request will go through the network. So due to this, what will happen? Hardware costing will be reduced. Instead of configuring printer scanners in each floor, we can configure one printer in second floor or third floor as a network printer. So the request will go through the network. So we can print the documents, right? We can take the documents. So due to this, what will happen? Hardware costing will be reduced, right? Yeah. Next one, hardware devices to required to set up a computer network. What are the devices required? See here, network cables required, distributors required, routers required, yeah, internal network cards required, external network cards required. These are the components to set up the computer network. Network cables. When we talk about cables, so currently we are not using any cables. Nothing to worry. This is the old methodology, but here terminology is important. Okay, we need to understand the terminology. Network cables. See, here. Network cables are used to connect computers. The most commonly cable is category 5 cable, which is we can call it as RJ45 cable. So this is very popular cable, right? So when we buy any router, internet router, along with the router we get one cable, which is RJ45 cable. So we can say Cat5 cable or RJ45 cable. So currently we are using Cat6 also, which is very advanced one. Okay. Yeah. See here, this is the RJ45, which is category 5 cable. Distributors. A computer can be connected to another via serial port, but if you need to connect many computers to produce a network, the serial connection will not work. See here. This is the loop back adapter. Loop back adapter, we can say. Right? This is also required for network connectivities. Next one, router. A router is a type of device which acts as the central point among the computers and other devices that are a part of the network. See here. So currently, most of the organizations they're using Wi-Fi routers, right? So in our organization, so when we move to cafeteria or breakout area, we can carry our laptop. Everywhere we get the internet connected. So because Wi-Fi. So currently people are project teams are using Wi-Fi, right? Network cards. So when we talk about cards here, two different types of cards are available. NIC, Network Interface Card, right? It is a pre-installed card available inside of the system, right? Network card is a necessary component of a computer without which a computer cannot connect it to our network. It is also known as the network adapter or network interface card, NIC. The most branded computers have network card pre-installed. Network cards are two types, internal and external network cards. So normally branded systems, so currently we are not using external cards. All are chips only, right? Within the laptop or desktop, we are using the small chip. That is a network device. Okay. Yeah. So internal network cards. So motherboard has a slot. This is old cards I'm talking about. So motherboard has a slot for internal network card where it is to be installed. Internal network cards are two types, which first one is peripheral component interconnect PCI. Second one is ISA. So industry standard architecture. See here. This is the internal network card. So 10 years back, 15 years back, we used to use this. In desktops, there will be a PCI card, PCI slot. In that PCI slot, we used to insert this. We used to install the driver. Once you install the driver, this can be activated. Okay. So currently we are not using this. We are using inbuilt. Next one, external network cards. So external network cards are two types, wireless and USB. Wireless network cards need to be installed into the motherboard. However, no network cable is required to connect to the network. See here. So this black one is the wireless network card. This one, right? We need to connect to the internet this black external network card we need to connect to the internal port, so that this will be activated. So here this is the USB. So while traveling, normal people are using this USB cards. Okay, these are the network cards available. Yeah. So what are the important types of computer networks? Network types. How many types are there? These are the four network types, right? So PAN, LAN, WAN, MAN. What is PAN, anyone? Personal area network, local area network, wide area network, metropolitan area network, right? So let us go with one by one. So PAN. So PAN is a computer network formed around a person. It generally consists of a computer, mobile or digital personal digital assistant. PAN can be used for establishing communication among these peripheral devices for connecting to the digital network and the internet. So PAN. So PAN is a within the room. This PAN will work within the room, within the floor, around the person. For example, I am using the laptop. I am using the Bluetooth mouse, Bluetooth mouse, right? So I can use the Bluetooth keyboard, Bluetooth headset, Bluetooth, whatever device you're using, right? See here, these are the devices. So either we can use a desktop or laptop, we can use the Bluetooth devices. These are all Bluetooth devices. Okay. So yeah, it is very secured, but there are some disadvantages here. Only this will work 10 meters distance range, 10 meters only. If you move to other floor, other place will not work. Okay, see here. What are the characteristics of PAN? It is mostly personal device network equipped within a limited area, allows you to handle the interconnection of IT devices at the surrounding of single user. PAN includes mobile devices, tablet, laptop, etc. Right? Advantage of PAN, yeah, PAN networks are relatively secure and safe because very limited distance. So if you have a long distance, no secure. Limited distance, right? No one can hack. It offers only short range solution up to 10 meters, strictly restricted to smaller area, within the room, within the floor only, right? Disadvantages, see here. Distance limits within the 10 meters only. This will work. If you move to other place, it will not work. So what is LAN? Yeah, it stands for local area network. It is a group of network devices that allow communication between various connected devices. It covers the smallest areas such as colleges, schools, hospitals, so on. So here, this is a LAN connectivity. Through LAN cable, we can connect the systems to share the resources, to share the databases, right? Yeah. What are the characteristics? See here, it is completely private network, our own network, right? LAN operates at the relatively higher speed compared to other WAN systems. For example, we have Wi-Fi router, right? So sometimes while booking Tatkal tickets, what we will do? We connect the cable. So when you connect the cable, so that will be higher speed, right? So Wi-Fi also speed. We have broadband connectivity, but when you connect cable, that will be increased. The speed will be increased. While booking the Tatkal tickets, we use the LAN cable, so the speed will be increased here. Okay. Next one, advantage of LAN. See here. So computer resources like hard disk, DVD RAMs, printers can share local area networks. Yeah, this significantly reduce the cost of hardware purchases. When we use the network devices, network printer, network scanner, network storage, what will happen? Hardware purchase will be reduced. So data of all network users can store on single hard disk of the server computer. So it will be easy to manage data at the one place. Yeah, which makes data more secure. Normally, all the data will be stored in the central location in the server, right? We can easily manage, we can secure, we can protect the servers. But if you store all the data in the different systems, what will happen? No security. right? So server side, we implement the firewalls, we implement the security. We can store all the data in the central location. We can access from anywhere, right? Disadvantage of LAN. See here. So unauthorized users can access critical data of an organization in case LAN admin is not able to secure centralized data repository. The LAN admin is not capable. Definitely hackers will enter. Okay. Yeah, these are the disadvantages. So what is MAN? Metropolitan Area Network, right? Yeah, so it covers the largest area than LAN, such as small towns, cities, etc. MAN connects two or more computers to that resides within the same or completely different cities. In Hyderabad, when Geo launches, Geo, Geo network, by the time they cut the roads, they insert the cables, right? Within the city, different cities, Hyderabad, Secunderabad, they configure these networks, right? That is metropolitan area network, right? So two cities are entire city, they can configure, right? Yeah. So here, different yeah, hospitals, colleges, factories, schools, right? So what are the characteristics here? It mostly covers towns and cities in a maximum 50 kilometers range, right? Mostly used medium is optical fiber cables. So yeah, we have distance, more distance, right? RJ45 will not work. We required optical fiber cables. So that signal will go through lightning, not wire, lightning, right? Yeah. Advantage of MAN. It offers the fastest communication using high-speed carriers like fiber optic cables. It provides excellent support for an extensive size network and greater access to WANs. A MAN network mostly includes some areas of the city or entire city. Okay. Disadvantages. See here. You need more, yeah, you need more cables to establish MAN connection from one place to another. In MAN network, it is thought to make the system secure from hackers because distance is more, distance is wide, right? So within the city are different cities, so that is why hackers may enter. That is why we need to secure our network here. Next one, WAN, wide area network. So it is a larger area. It covers the large area, land as well as man, such as country and continent. So country to country, continent to continent. This is satellite communication, not wide, not wide network, right? Satellite communication, satellite medium used in the wide area network. See here, this is a combination of LAN, MAN, and WAN. So what are the characteristics here? Any organization can form its global integrated network using WAN connection. And advantage of WAN, see here, WAN helps you to cover larger geographical area. Therefore, business offices situated at longer distance can be easily communicate. So yeah, WAN connections work using radio transmitters, receivers built in built into the client devices. Okay. Disadvantages. What are the disadvantages here? Okay. The initial setup cost of investment is very higher in the WAN. Initially, country to country, continent to continent, if you want to establish the connection, initial setup of costing is very higher. So that is why what organizations are doing. So 4 5 organizations together, they are taking one connection to reduce the costing, right? So it is yeah, it is difficult to maintain the WAN network. You need more skilled technicians and network administrators required here. There are more errors and issues because of the wide coverage and the use of different technologies. Okay, so country to continent, country to country, continent to continent, so more distance. That is why we require more skilled technicians to configure this to maintain the network. Okay, so these are the different networks. This is the combination of LAN, MAN, and WAN, country to country, continent to continent. So local area network and cities, different cities, we can configure MAN, right? So these are the four types of networks: PAN, LAN, MAN, WAN. Next one, IP address. What is IP address? What is an IP address? IP address and intended. Anyone? Yeah, IP stands for Internet Protocol. So every laptop or desktop or server or switch or router is having their unique address. Unique address, right? Yeah. For example, if I check, if I open command prompt, if I check here, IP config, this is my IP address. This is my IP address, which is IP version 4. So currently we are using IP version 4. So maybe going forward we use the IP version 6. That is the latest one, right? So IP version 4 is having 4 octets, 4 octets, 192.168.0.100. So each of is 8 bits. 8 into 4. How much? 32-bit address. IPv4 is the 32-bit address. So while working on networking part in AWS, we'll go deep dive. We'll go practical. We'll see this. Okay. So IP version 4 is the 32-bit address. So here we have 4 octets are there. 192.168.0.100. But the IP version 6 is having how many bits? Anyone? Anyone having idea? IP version 4 is having 32-bit address. IP version 6, 128-bit address. That is very advanced one. If you search in Google, you can understand. I'll explain that while working on VPC networking part. IPv4 versus IPv6, you can search here. You can see the difference here. See here. IP version 4 is the 32-bit address. IP version 6 is the, what is this? 128-bit address. Version, and see here. IP version 6 is the 128-bit address, right? This will be covered while working on networking, VPC, right? Yeah. So here one more address is there, which is subnet mask. Subnet. Subnet is the small network instead of the large network. Next one, default gateway. Gateway. What is gateway? Yeah, entry, connectivity, right? This will be covered in our VPC while working on AWS. Okay. Now, see here. IP stands for Internet Protocol. IP address is a unique address that identify a device on the internet or a local network. To identify the device, we require IP address here to communicate, right? Which is a set of rules governing the format of data sent via the internet or local network. Next one, types of IP addresses. Types of IP addresses. How many types are available? So for laptop or desktop or server, only one IP will be there. I'm talking about physical, not cloud. Okay. Every physical server or laptop or desktop having only one IP, which is the network IP. Network IP. But a cloud side, two IPs will be there. Cloud server is having two IPs. Right? What are those? First one, private IP address. So we are entering to cloud, right? Tomorrow we are going to start cloud. Slowly we are understanding here. Okay. So cloud servers are having two IPs, private IP address and also public IP address. What is private IP? What is public IP? So private IP is the static IP, which will not be changed. IP will not be changed. That is a permanent IP for the server, right? So that is mainly for internal communication. So what is public IP? Public IP is the dynamic IP that will be changed every time when you start server. Okay, see here, dynamic IP. So public IP is the dynamic IP, right? So in public IP, one more IP is there, static IP also there. That we will see later, right? So normally, private IP is the static IP, public IP is the dynamic IP. Okay. So every cloud server is having two IPs, public IP, private IP. So I'll show you here. For example, this is the Jenkins server, right? So here we have public IP version 4, private IP version 4. This server is in stopped state. That is why this public IP is gone. It is not there. If you start the server, this IP will be available. That is a dynamic IP. Dynamically, IP will be changed every time when you start server. Why the IP will be changed? Backend in data center, there will be a DHCP server. DHCP server, dynamic host configuration protocol server, that will take back the old IP, that will give back the new IP when we start server. Every time when you start server, IP will be changed, right? Yeah. Along with this IP is one more IP is there, which is a elastic IP. In AWS, we have elastic IP. That is very important. How to generate the elastic IP? How can we get the elastic IP from data center? How can we attach that IP to the server? We'll see that practically, right? So in AWS console, if you go back to AWS console, if you go down here, see here. What is this? Elastic IPs. We can get the elastic IP from the data center and we can attach the IP to the server in place of public IP. Public IP should not be changed because every day developers, testers, they connect servers, right? The IP is changing every day. What will happen? They will be confused. Some disturbance will be happen. That is why in place of public IP, we need to attach the elastic IP. How can we attach? We'll see that practically. Okay. Yeah. Clear it, everyone. Online guys. Is it clear to you? Up to here, it is clear to you, everyone. Any questions? Anyone having any questions here? So far, any questions? Anyone? Right. Yeah. Next one. Subnet. What is subnet? Right. A subnet is a subnetwork or a smaller network instead of the large network. Right. So in physical data center, we create small network, our own network. In AWS data center, we create our own network, small network. Why we need to create our own network, custom network? To control inbound, outbound traffic, right? So we can create our own rules. In this subnet, we can create our own rules, right? If you use a default network, so we need to follow the AWS rules. If you create your own network, we can customize that. We can create our rules, right? So how to create subnet, I'll show you practically. See here, these are the small networks, subnetworks, right? So how to create subnet? How can we configure subnet? It's very simple, very easier. In AWS, creating networks very easier. Okay, we'll see that practically. Next one, what is network switch? Network switch. A switch is a device in a computer network that connects other devices together. Multiple data cables are plugged into a switch to enable communication between different network devices. Okay, see here. This is the traditional switch, old switch. Currently, we are not using this. So backside of the switch, there are ports. In that ports, we can connect our RJ45 cables and we can connect to our servers, our desktops, our systems. Next one, what is gateway? Gateway. To connect our networks, we require gateway. Gateway is a router, network router, not internet router, network router. See here. For example, this is the, yeah, this is one network. This is another network. So network ID is here, network address 10.0.0.0/8. This is one range, 20.0.0.0/8. Different ranges. If you want to establish a connection between different networks, we require gateway. Gateway required here. This will enable the connection between two networks. Okay. Next one, what is firewall? Firewall. Firewall is a network security device. Systems that prevent so unauthorized access to a network. It can be hardware or software unit that filters the incoming outgoing traffic within the network. Right? It is a network security system. So firewall will allow good traffic, it will deny bad traffic. So based on the firewall rules, it will work. Right now, see here. So normally, if you want to connect any applications, how can we connect? Through internet. Internet is the most vulnerable network, very dangerous network, right? In internet we can find the viruses and threats, malwares, different errors, issues, right? So if you want to connect any, for example, if you want to connect your office network without firewall, we cannot connect because firewalls will filter the traffic, right? It will allow the good traffic, it will deny the bad traffic. So this is the good traffic, right? This will be allowed by firewall. If any bad traffic is coming in, this will be fired. Here, firewall will be fired. That will not be allowed. That will be blocked, right? Next one, what is replication? What is failover? What is load balancer? Replication. What is replication? Duplication, synchronization, right? One region to other region, one data center to other data center. We can replicate the data, right? So we can see here. Replication is a technology for copying and distributing data and databases objects from one database to another, and then synchronizing between databases to maintain consistency, integrity of the data. In most cases, replication is a process of reproducing the data at the desired targets. See here. This is the primary region. This is the secondary region. Region. What is region? Anyone? Region is a data center. So we can say geographical location also, right? So here we have two regions are there, two data centers. So here we enable the replication from data center 1 to data center 2, primary to secondary. We enable the replication. When we enable the replication, the data will be synchronized from here to here. See here, whatever files are there here, those will be replicated to secondary region. So user is accessing primary region. User is accessing the data from the primary region. In case primary region is down, what will happen? Automatically, that will fail over to secondary region, right? So failover means switching to secondary region. So this data will be accessible from secondary region. So user directly switch to other region. That user, he doesn't know where I am accessing, but automatically that will be failover, right? Yeah. For example, in AWS we have regions are there, data centers. Okay. So inside of the regions we have availability zones, availability zones. So availability zones, we have Hyderabad availability zone, Bangalore availability zone, and Chennai availability zone. So in Chennai, 2016, major floods happened in Chennai. Major floods happened. By the time most of the IT companies shut down, most of the data centers down. So if the data center is down, what will happen? Chennai data center completely down in 2016. If the data center is down, all the applications, servers, databases, everything will be down, right? So if the data center is down, client business will be impacted. So AWS configured replication mechanism. When the data center is down, automatically the application will be accessible from Hyderabad or Bangalore. Automatically there will be switch, which is high availability. So AWS is providing high availability. So high availability, high security. These two are very important. If the AWS vendor is unable to provide the availability, what will happen? Customers eventually switch to other platform, Azure, Google Cloud, right? So currently AWS is in first place, right? AWS occupied 33% of the market share because AWS is having high availability, high security, right? So AWS is having very good hardware in the backend data centers to maintain the customer applications, customer databases, right? Yeah, AWS is managing all the availability, synchronization, this replication, right? We don't need to worry about that. In case one data center is down, we don't need to worry about as a DevOps engineer, as a cloud engineer, no need to worry about that. automatically that will switch to other data center. That will be taken care by AWS only. In AWS, we'll be having 20% of the scope only. We can perform 20% of the activities. 80% of the activities will be taken care by AWS vendor, because they are managing the physical data center, right? That is why 80% of the activities will be taken care by AWS. Other 20% we have to take care, which is creating EC2 instance, creating network, creating load balancers, creating auto scaling, monitoring tools, databases. That we will maintain. That will take care, right? Yeah. This load balancer we'll see while working on AWS. Load balancer we'll see that. Okay. Next one, what most of the interviews they are asking this question. Most of the interviews. Okay. What is cluster? What is the use of cluster? Cluster is a group of devices, group of servers. What is the use of cluster? Fault tolerance, load balancing. Cluster is a group of servers or group of devices. Advantage of clusters, benefits of clusters, fault tolerance, load balancing. What is fault tolerance? So for example, here we have, these are the servers which are in cluster, which are in group. So in this group, applications are running. In case one server is down, application will not be down anywhere. That is a fault tolerance. Load balancing. For example, one server is getting more load, more requests, that will be shared to other servers. For example, in our project, 10 members are there, team members, right? So 10 members are handling, each one handling 30 requests per day. 10 into 30, how much? 300 requests per day. So in 10 members, 5 members went on leave. 5 members went on leave. What will happen? That load will be shared to other 5 members. Each one need to handle the 60 requests, right? So in that 5 members, one guy left from the organization. One guy left from the organization. Project will not be stopped, right? The 4 members can maintain that. The same way, so cluster, it's a group of servers. This will maintain the applications. In case one server is down, crash, nothing will be happen, right? And one server is getting more load, that automatically distribute to other servers, right? So this is a very important concept, right? While working on VPC networking part, we'll go very deep into this. Okay, practically we'll see this, how the load will be balanced. So we have auto scaling is there, we have ELB is there, elastic load balancer. By the time we'll see this practically. Next one is why Linux? Why the project teams are using Linux only? What are the importance here? So most of the organizations, backend server side, they are using Linux only. Why they are using Linux? What is the importance here? See here. It is free, open source, very secure. So many distributions available, so many versions available, like Ubuntu, Amazon Linux, CentOS, SUSE Linux, RHCL, right? Different flavors available. So fast performance compared with Windows, Linux is very faster, right? Yeah, these are all advantages. That is why every project team they are using Linux. So here, no viruses in Linux, no viruses, no costly repairs. That is why Linux is very popular now. In our course, Linux also will be covered. So tomorrow we are going to start AWS. So after few sessions, we'll start the Linux. Okay. So Linux 3 to 4 days only maximum. Whatever required commands, nearly 50 commands, and user management, and also architecture of Linux, folder structure, and advanced commands, basic commands, deployment commands. Those are enough to you, right? So whatever commands we use in real-time projects as a DevOps engineer, as a cloud engineer, those are enough. We are not Linux admins, right? Yeah. So here, no viruses, no malware. What is malware? This is one of the threats, right? No slowdowns. Linux servers will not slow down, right? no crashes. Linux servers will not be crashed. No costly repairs, right? So whenever any issues happen with the servers, no costly. It's very simple way we can resolve that issues. But compare with Windows, so these are the, yeah, Linux is very secure, more secure, and very faster, and also so many distributions available here. Okay, so these are the things Linux. Any questions here? So networking terminologies, whatever we used here, those will be repeated again in AWS. That terminology will be repeated. So like subnets, gateways, and load failovers, load balancers, right? And also IP version 4, IP version 6. Uh, this terminology is very important. Okay, this type of terminologies. So while working on AWS, again this will be repeated. But before going to AWS, you need to understand this process, this terminology, this basics. Okay. Yeah. So any questions so far, anyone? Up to here, any questions, anyone? If you have any questions, you can ask me. Yeah. So tomorrow onwards, we are going to start AWS. Okay. So AWS will go very deep dive. It takes nearly 30 days, 35 days. Yes. 30 to 35 days. So nearly 42 services will be covered in AWS. 42 services. Those are very core services. So if you understand the services, you can understand any platform. Not only, yeah, if you are good in AWS, you can handle any cloud platform, Azure, GCP, and other platforms also. So all the functionality, all the platforms are same functionality wise. Terminology would be little different. Terminology. So in AWS server, we can call it as EC2 instance. In Azure, we can call it as VM. In GCP, we can call it as VM instance. So in AWS networking, you can call it as VPC. In Azure, you can call it as VNets. In GCP, you can call it as VPC only, right? So the terminology is very important here. Okay. So functionality wise, all the platforms are same. That is why we need to focus. Yeah, you need to understand all the services here. So once you jump into the project, once you get into the project, yeah. So if you have any other platform, you can easily cope up, right? Clear, right, everyone? So meeting link will be changed tomorrow. Okay, completely changed. If you are not registered so far, you can register today itself. Okay. So even classroom guys also, everyone, you can add into WhatsApp group. Once you make the fee, you will be added into WhatsApp group, right? Yeah. So tomorrow onwards, practical oriented sessions, not theoretical. So far theoretical sessions, because these are the introductions and demos, basics, right? So tomorrow we are going to create AWS account. How to get the AWS account? How can we connect the AWS account? How can we check the services which are available in the AWS? All the services. What is the functionality of services? Right? We'll walk through all the services. Yeah, and we can create resources from tomorrow onwards. Fine. Yeah. So you can add into WhatsApp group as soon as possible once you make the fee. So tomorrow onwards, you need to have laptop internet connectivity for practice. Everyone should practice daily basis. If you practice daily basis within 3 months, you can easily crack your entry, right? So you can easily get into the project. Once you move to the project, yeah, you will not confuse because whatever activities you perform in real-time projects, same activities you can perform in our classes, right? So same day after 1 hour, once complete the session, you get the recording session. So we store all the recordings in Google Drive. We give you access, drive access. So currently we are providing YouTube links, right? So from tomorrow onwards, all the links will be stored in the drive. Google Classroom is there. That classroom link provided to you, right? So once complete the session, after 1 hour, you will get the recording and documents also. You can follow that. You can practice. So everyone should practice daily basis. So people are practicing weekends only. Few people, my previous batch I observed, right? So if you practice daily basis only, you can easily cope up. Fine. Yeah. So everyone prepare your system, and we don't need to install any package in our laptop, local laptop. We can create one account, AWS account. We can connect to cloud AWS account, and we can work on AWS account only. Don't need to install any package in our local laptop. So laptop required minimum 8 GB storage, 8 GB RAM, 8 GB RAM required. Storage, it can be 500 GB, 250 GB also fine. Processor i3, i5, anything is fine, right? Yeah. So make sure everyone prepare your laptop and the required internet connectivity also. So if you want to bring your laptop to classroom, you can bring here. Once complete the session, you can practice here, right? In the third floor. Fine. Yeah. So any questions, anyone? So far, any questions, anyone? Yeah. So we can wind up here. So I already shared my number, right? So if you have any questions, you can WhatsApp me, you can call me so that we'll discuss. Fine. Yeah. Thank you all.